Hello, this is Malorian, and this is going to be a 3,000 point game between my Orcs and some Skaven. Alright, and now this is probably going to be my favorite picture of the whole report. The guy I was playing against, he's still working on his Hell Pit Abomination, and so he's using this big rubber rat as his Hell Pit. So it's going to be kind of funny to see him going across. And for my part, I'm going to be using my Gandork, my Orc War Boss with the Wizard's Hat. And for this battle, I got Lore Metal, and I got the 2 hardest spells it casts, so we'll see if that ever comes into play. So as seems to be the norm nowadays, I got the Dawn attack, so everything's all crazy. You know, I had to roll to see what area things start in. And we also got tons of crazy terrain. We have, that's a warding well on my left part. Those 2 felt pieces you see on the ground, those are woods. We just use felt, so it's easier. He has a building up there in the center. That's that Temple of Skulls or Altar of Skulls, the one that you can pray to get more stats. And then we got 3 rivers. So, yeah, nothing that we really want to see. Anyway, my list going across is going to be a Doom Diver, a Chariot, a Horde of Black Orcs, and I have my Black Orc BSB in there. Behind is my bunker of Night Goblins with my level 4 Shaman and Gandork. 2 Chukkas, a Chukka behind the hill. 2 wolf chariots with, I got 3 units of 50 night goblins, 2 big bosses in each with great weapons, 50 orcs, a chukka in the woods, and that turned out to be that blood wood, and then a horde of orcs on the right with another chariot. My opponent, he had a huge unit of like 66 stormvermin there on the left that has queek, so they're all upgraded. The BSB is in there, there's an engineer in there, and then there's some slaves in front as a screen. He has 30 Jezzails, then he has the Warp Lightning Cannon, the HPA, another Warp Lightning Cannon, a big unit of Clan Rats, and there's a Chieftain in there. Behind the house, you can only just see it a little bit sticking out, but there's that Plaguepult. Then some more slaves on the right, and some more Clan Rats behind them with another Engineer. So I actually placed down first, and I'm really not liking the look of this. To begin with, my general is not near the center where he needs to be guarding all that stuff. He's off on the side. And because of the way things were actually placed, my Black Orcs are screwed. Because basically, unsupported, they have to take on the horde of the stormvermin, which last time that we faced, I actually got my butt kicked when I had a rear charge on them. And I had the HPA, and the whole time while I'm fighting that stuff, I got 30 Jezzails and 2 Warp Lightning Cannons blasting me apart. So, wow, I don't know what's going to go on there. And on the right side, I'm going to have to try and rush up as fast as I can, but he could easily just defend that river and really make it a pain for me. So, only thing that's kind of interesting here is that I'm vastly outnumbering Skaven, which is kind of funny. And here's just an update, like a little close-up of these the stormvermin. They're all the old models. Funny thing is, he used to always love running these guys as a big block, even in 7th during big games. And so it's just kind of funny that all of a sudden in 8th, hey, it's actually a smart thing to do now. So yeah, very scary unit and big, huge point denial, and they'll just tear you apart. So turn 1, Skaven steal the initiative, or whatever you want to call it. Slaves move up, rats move up there on the right, and HPA kind of moves up until he's just into the river there, but doesn't get hurt or anything. And it turns out that river there is the one where you cause fear when you go through it, so nothing really a big deal there. Anyway, then his magic, usually for the whole game, my spirit totem, I'm going to be easily shutting down his magic. However, his shooting is already doing really well. Killed a handful of my Black Orcs, so I know that I'm in big trouble here. And he actually got a little bit lucky, and I got unlucky in that one of his shots to the Black Orcs went too far, hit Gandork. I failed my look out, sir, and just luckily he only did 2 wounds to me. Otherwise, I would have been losing my general very first turn. So it's obviously being seen here that my Black Orcs are screwed, and so given the situation, I think I'm just going to go for a desperate charge on that HPA because I have the wall banner, and just at least try and see if I can take that thing out before I die. Alright, my turn 1. Sorry, this one turned out a little bit blurry. So I do just that. My Black Orcs decide to go for it. I move up my bunker there just because I want to try and blast those Dizales with magic, because that's pretty much their only weakness. And my chariot hits the slaves on the left. Um, as far as the combats go, we took this picture before we did the chariot combat, but my chariot killed a few and they held because they're steadfast. The hell pit killed a ton of my guys, but luckily I got 3 wounds back on them, so maybe I can kill him before. And otherwise, you can see that the one unit of orcs on the right failed animosity, and I'm just kind of moving up to try and cross this river or something in time. Skaven turn 2, and biggest news here you can see, just kind of jumping ahead, is that I killed the Helped Abomination, which, given that I now had less attacks, he did a thing, so I was -1 to hit. I just got really lucky. Pretty much both last round and this round, I forced him to take 5 regens, and he failed 3 each time, so he's down. Hopefully he won't get back up. Otherwise, he destroyed one of my wolf chariots there that was going up on the hill, shot up my bunker like hell, and so now I'm starting to really question whether that was wise to move up to try and attack those Dizales, especially because now those generals have the 2 lords have nowhere to hide, so I don't know what's going to happen there. Alright, Orcs turn 2, another failed animosity there. And basically what I do is my Black Orcs combat reform, and they start moving up. I have the one chariot coming across to try and go after the Warp Lightning Cannon. I had charged the slaves on the right, and they fled. Let's see. I have the one unit that's going over to save my general, or my lords eventually, but otherwise they moved up, and I did really well. You can see I destroyed the one unit of Dizales. They ran off, actually, and the other one's down to 3, so that's great. And another thing I forgot to mention last turn is that the one Warp Lightning Cannon, the right one, destroyed itself. So as far as his shooting ability, it's quickly going down, which is great. Yeah, I just still gotta watch it because he still has that huge horde, and the second that he gets aggressive with it, I'm gonna be in big trouble. Alright, so Skaven turn 3. Doesn't actually get much done. His slaves run off the board. His 2 blocks are kind of moving back. Again, magic shut down. Shooting kills a few more of my archers, and that's really it. That's all that happened. And of course, my chariot and slaves on the left just keep on slowly hacking at each other, but it's something where he needs 6s to wound me, never does anything, and I kill a couple and he's steadfast. So that's just kind of blocking off those stormvermin a bit, which is just fine with me. Orcs turn 3. I have 2 units that fail animosity, so that sucks. And then I go to try and charge the Warp Lightning Cannon with my Black Orcs and fail. So that puts them in a bad spot. Otherwise, I finally now have my characters in a big unit, so they're safe, while my archers are falling back. And magic, all the Dizales are gone. So that's great. That's a ton of points for me, and tons of shooting that won't be coming back. And my chariot also finally beat the slaves. They failed and ran off, so that's kind of good. And otherwise, I'm just kind of slowly going across the river with those night goblins, trying to force a combat. But if he charges me, I don't even know if I would even beat them because of how I don't even get my ranks and I'm not steadfast. So things can go bad quick. But I'm just trying to be a little bit aggressive while I can. Skaven turn 4. First, that unit that was his left clan rats charged my Black Orcs. It would be in the flank, so I decided to flee. Then the stormvermin charged me. I flee again, so I lose a couple guys from running in the river. The stormvermin redirected in the chariot. It had to flee, and his slaves rallied. Apart from that, his shooting kind of overshoots me and doesn't do very much, and that's the turn. Alright, Orcs and Goblins turn 4, and I fail 4 animosities. My archers fail, my ones with my mages fail, so no magic, and then those 2 other blocks fail, so of course my Black Orcs keep running. I just kind of show the 2 models there because of where they are. And something I forgot to say for my last turn is that all my guys kind of prayed since they were on that thing anyway, and what was it? One of them died because I rolled a 1. Another one got +3 wounds, which is kind of cool. But the other 2 got extra initiative, which is totally useless seeing as how you have great weapons. But anyway, this turn they tried to charge on the clan rats but failed. And the one chariot there rallied and just kind of aimed at the Warp Lightning Cannon, Meanwhile, my chariot on the left is just trying to staying out of line of sight to make sure that the storm vermin didn't go and kill it. Skaven turn 5. We have another blurry picture here, unfortunately. His one unit charges at my his clan rats charge at my chariot. It flees, goes in the river, takes 2 wounds, and then the clan rats charge it, catch it, and so that's where they caught it. Was right there where they are. That actually drew out a fanatic, which is the little blurry thing by the river, and then otherwise he was just kind of standing around. He actually look at that. My unit of night goblins that has my mages in it got blasted hard. Usually his plague bolt had been scattering, but it did a ton of damage here, and his warp lightning did a bunch of damage, and he threw a globe into them that did a bunch of damage, and yeah, just a lot of damage. And the other thing is that he had his doom rocket on the right guy, and he hit my chariot. I don't know why he aimed for that, but he did a wound to there, so that's why my chariot took a wound. Orcs turn 5. I failed my animosity again with my Lord's unit there. My Black Orcs are still running. I tried charging again with my guys on the hill, my Night Goblins, into his clan rats, the left ones, and fail, so I'm still standing there. However, on the right, you can see I charged him with that one of Night Goblins, beat him, broke him, so he ran off the board while I just looked to see if they played catapult. And my chariot on the left charged his slaves and killed all but one that's going to be running off the board later. I also hit the warp lightning cannon with a chukka, did 3 wounds, but this is something we weren't sure because it says 4 wounds in the profile, but it only has 3 crew, so I don't know how many it's supposed to have, but either way, we're leaving it with 1 wound right now. Skaven turn 6. They charge the storm vermin into my my unit that has Gandork in it. I flee and get away. He charges my characters on the hill there. I have a challenge between my guy with 5 wounds and his chieftain. We do nothing this time, but after the combat's done, I win by 1 and he holds. Otherwise, his 1 slave runs off the board, and that's pretty much it for this turn. And Orcs turn 6. It's all about right here. I rallied with Gandork. My chariot destroyed the warp lightning cannon, the night goblins destroyed the plaguepult, and in here we keep on fighting and he holds. So in the end, it was a huge massacre for the orcs and goblins. I mean, he only got the points for 2 of my goblin chariots and my 1 big boss that killed himself, whereas I killed tons of his things. The main reasons behind this, I'd say, is because well, to begin with, he should have been way more aggressive with that unit of storm vermin. Having those slaves in front of them really just bogged him down, and then after that happened, it almost seemed like he was playing most of the game as using them as a bunker to try and shoot out with his engineer, which of course was a real waste, and so he wasn't really aggressive with them until the last couple of turns, and by then it was too late. So they would have played a huge factor. There was also luck. I got a lot of luck killing that HBA right away. And once those Jezzails were done, well, then all of a sudden he didn't really have much going for him. I mean, one of his war machines blew up, the Jezzails were gone, and it was really just me slowly going around and mopping him up while he couldn't really do much else. So anyway, good to have a win with Gandork. Unfortunately, he didn't really get to cast any crazy spells, but maybe next time. Alright, see you then. Bye.